Wow, this show today, great podcast, all about cell terrain, yes, and your reset, where your cell terrain is, yes, and how does the whole brain functioning fit where your immune switch is. So the challenge really is where the terrain is, of course, compromised, and immunity in that circumstance becomes misdirected, and chronic inflammation comes more from baseline, and cells fall out of the natural rhythm that they would have. And so parasitic types of condition goes on after that, you see, and an extended phenotype takes advantage more where your stomach could have been weak and not having had proper acid. And so low enzyme activity, emotional stress states, and the resilience which you could have drops. And so the body could have lost its capacity to be able to have a clear away mold, fungus, and yeast, and have just stored debris instead. And laughter and bonding in natural setting and oxygen rhythm more, it could have been missing. And so behavioural hijackedness has gone on where some default pattern would have been, and recovery ever more becomes sort of increasingly out of reach where someone is. And so what happens, though, where you've got forest air? I'm just giving you the example. My God, doesn't that lift natural killer activity where the immune system is? And for some few days that you spent where time is like this, where live food is, and whole brain patterning, you've got enzyme supply of natural pacifirin, and you've got a condition of your immune system being driven ever more by having an emptiness to function proper. And so fungal parasitic conditions like this all get cleared away. You've got T4 and T8 cells which switch on and cause proper housekeeping, and citric acid and bitter plant chemistry and things like that help restore stomach acid. And parasite otherwise load would have dropped, yes, and the remission of patterns starts to begin, and you really appear ever more to have reduced pain and fatigue, and got a bit more emotional balance. So whole brain functioning rhythmic pattern is brought about ever more where your nervous system sort of comes to have a calm return, and albumin begins to sort of move back into a healing range where everything is. The podcast that we've got coming up is incredible, of course. You've got really a hydrogen-rich sugars, which you could understand more as the backbone of DNA and RNA. You've got cell membrane integrity and neurotransmitters and enzyme pathways, and a rebuilding of states which accelerate more the life colloid that you have within inside the cell. And so you're regaining ever more a clearer communication, and where parasite phenotype would have been, it sort of is a losing of its fuel and emotional code, where that was all becomes sort of loosened. And so behavior otherwise would have hijacked the ends of everything, and the body has to have reclaimed its intelligence to restore itself. So where cell terrain reset is, you've got whole brain functioning patterning, and applying this more consistently, you really got immunity that's rising, you see, and your mood stabilizing, and a full reversal more where the pathways become more visible, yes, and you're inviting ever more a deeper listening to complete an episode, which really is a great podcast on the mechanisms of how everything is about your immune system, whole brain functioning, and how this manages parasite, and what's the benefit of being with live food. Stay tuned. We've got a really great show coming up.